But it is on a similar topic as yesterday. So we'll call it lesson 5.2, more. Because who doesn't love more? Elements of functions. So I'm going to recall us back to yesterday when we were talking about our swimming pool. Okay? We had our swimming pool. We were using buckets. We had our friends help us. We drained it. We cleaned it. And then we filled it back up. Okay? All right. Where this was our water level, and this was time. Okay? Now, we talked about a couple of different things. One of the major topics that we discussed was the idea of domain. And what is the domain? What were you guys able to jot down yesterday about what domain is? I'll wait to hear from somebody. Yeah, Arnhem.
Domain is what comes in.
Yeah. What goes in? What else did we say? What else did we say? Yes.
The range is the output.
Well, the range is the output, but we'll get to that in a minute. I want to first talk about domain. Domain is what goes in. Is that all you guys wrote down?
X version.
X? Yeah, we talked about it being the X.
And the range is Y.
We'll get to range. I'm just asking about domain. So this is all that we wrote down yesterday. Okay. So looks like we need to refresh on yesterday's. When the video from yesterday is also up on the blog in case you didn't take good notes yesterday. So you can go ahead and do that. So what goes in? Our X. So the best way of thinking this is as an all possible inputs. So when we're looking at our function here, when we're looking at time, let's say we started at time 0. We ended, let's say this whole ordeal took us 2 hours, which is 120 minutes. We ended at 120. So what is the domain of us cleaning our pool? What is the domain of us cleaning our pool?
2 hours.
2 hours, right? This is all of our possible outcome. All of this here. All of that in the red. How we would say that is we make this funky D. How I kind of have, it just kind of has 2 lines on that left side. That funky D stands for domain. So our domain would be something like this. The lowest value of our domain is 0. And our highest value of our domain is 120. This is how I would express my domain. Domain is all numbers from 0 to 120. This, of course, is our interval notation. Do you guys need a quick little refresher on interval notation, or do we have this down? Thumbs up, you got it down. Thumbs down, you'd like a refresher. Okay. I've got 2 people telling me things. I've got 3 people telling me things. Okay, refresher it is. Okay. Remember, for interval notation, it'll look something like this. That is our lowest number. That is our highest. Parentheses mean it's not included. Whereas brackets mean the number is included. Okay, that's a little refresher on that. Yeah.
So with the parentheses, it's just picking a variable and then
This could be any number. Typically what this is this would be something like, 3 to infinity or something like that. It doesn't matter what number it is. Any numbers, in this case it's 0 to 120 inclusive. Okay. So that is our domain. Let's talk about range. So our range for this, let's say this is 0 gallons and the total amount that can fit in the pool is 100 gallons. I'm sure a real pool has immensely more than that, but just to make our numbers easy, we'll say it's 100 gallons. Okay? So if domain is what goes in, our x and all possible inputs, our range is just the opposite of that. What our output is, or our y value. And so for this becomes what our range is, all of those numbers. And so in this case, our range is all numbers from 0 to 100. So it's all gallons of water from empty, which is 0, to 100, which is full. Thumbs up, you're getting it. Thumbs down. Slow it down a bit. Okay. Our range is from 0 to 100. Now we might talk about things like intervals of the function. Okay? So maybe this is like, 45 minutes, 60, 80, something like that. So if I were to ask you, looking at this function, and I'll zoom in, what is the domain of the function decreasing? What would you say? What would say it again?
60 to 100.
The interval of it decreasing?
0 to 60.
0 to 60, right? From here to here, from the start time to an hour in, 0 to 60, it is decreasing. And then what would the interval be of it increasing? 80 to 100. Or 120, my bad. Increasing. Okay. Does that kind of make sense how we would say this is where it's going up, this is where it's going down? Where it's not changing would be 60 to 80. And so using this, we can carve up functions based on different intervals to talk about different things that are happening with it. Yeah? Yeah, we would say, like, if I were to ask you, a question I might ask you is like, where is it constant? Where is our function constant? You would say between 60 and 80 because it's 0. Yep. Cool. Okay, so that is how we're going to use interval notation when talking about different functions. We're going to talk about decreasing, increasing, staying flat, etc. One thing, though, that we have to know is we have to understand the concepts of minimum and maximum. Okay. When I'm looking at the minimum of a function, I'm looking at the lowest range possible. This is the lowest range. Oh yeah, I'll zoom back out. Whoops, not in, out. So minimum is the lowest range value. Maximum, what do you think that is? Highest, exactly. Highest range value. So what is the lowest range value of our swimming pool? 0. So in this case, we would say our min is 0. Right? Because this is the lowest it gets right here. And so what is the maximum? 100. 100, because we care about our range. We care about this value here, 100. And it gets there twice, both at the very beginning and at the end. So when we're talking about min and max, we're talking about range. We're talking about our y. Okay? And it's always the highest value and the lowest value. Even though this has 2 maxes, they're both at 100. We don't have to differentiate between them. We can just say the max is 100, even if it hits it at multiple times. I'll be with you in a second. Okay? Any questions on that? Cool. All right, so with that, yeah, what's up?
Can we represent, or do we ever say it's like less than a max or something?
Less than a max of
If it's
something?
less than 100, but not equal to, could you signify that?
Oh, so like if you were to, if like say it were like an open circle or something like that where it doesn't actually get there, then yeah, you would say it'd be up to 100. Yeah.